The Kawasaki ZH2 is a fairly new bike. It only came out in 2020, but a pretty horrible thought came into my mind recently about, well, I suppose any new motorcycle that's come out in the last couple of years, and that is whether or not these bikes will ever get a second generation. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Let's jump right in. Yeah, it's crazy to think, isn't it, that Kawasaki would spend all this R&D on an amazing motorcycle for there only to be one iteration of it. And I mean, if we look at the track records of most motorcycle manufacturers, generations of a particular motorcycle can last anywhere between 6 and 10 years, sometimes even longer than that. So, I mean, it's kind of no surprise, really, when you think about it like that there probably won't be a new generation of this motorcycle in particular. And that's a really sad thought. But yeah, let's start her up. Let's go for a ride and let's discuss this a bit further. It's a nice view, isn't it? Can't for the life of me get dry roads at the moment here in the UK. It's just been constant rain over the last couple of weeks. Well, in fact, actually, I think last weekend was a pretty good weekend for riding. But yeah, all this week I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to come out and shoot any videos this weekend because of all the weather that we've had. But yeah, I can't exactly ride how I'd like to this time of year. Most of the roads are wet still. But yeah, it's mad to think that the best super naked in the world right now will probably never get a second generation. I mean, later on in the video, I suppose we could discuss what things I would like to see in a second generation ZH2. But yeah, it's crazy, guys, because I mean, let's be honest here, Kawasaki are pretty much going all in on electric, even though the electric offerings that they've announced recently are a bit trash, if you ask me. They're not looking that great, with teeny tiny batteries and underpowered motors. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a miss for me. But yeah, it looks like they are heavily now investing in electric tech. And you can't really blame them. I mean, that's what everyone else is doing because they have to. By 2035, they won't be able to sell ICEs anymore. Internal combustion engines for motorcycles. So it does make sense, and eventually all the manufacturers are going to have to do something different, whether that be electric or hydrogen or something else. And I mean, that's the future that all of these companies are looking at the moment. But you got to kind of wonder how long this motorcycle was in R&D for, and how many years of sales they're actually going to get out of it. Because it wouldn't surprise me if they'd stop manufacturing this motorcycle well before 2030. Maybe 2028, 2027, something like that is probably when they would start manufacturing these, because by that point most people are probably going to be buying electric. So we might see the ZH2 live on in an electric form, but it will just probably be, I don't know, the Z electric or something, or the EZ, the EZ, something like that. I don't know, maybe that remains to be seen. But the trajectory that everything is going at the moment, it doesn't look like we will see any more generations of this motorcycle. We probably won't see any more generations of the MT10. We probably won't even see any more iterations or generations of the Super Duke. Yeah, classic, absolute classic super nakeds, all of them. And they probably won't see another generation. I mean, the MT10 might have one more in it, I think, or maybe the Super Duke. I can't remember when the generations line up, but yeah, there might be one more in it for them. But it depends, doesn't it? Because how much R&D are these companies now willing to spend on new ICEs, knowing that they're not going to be able to sell them in the near future? Yeah, it's definitely something that's going to be in the back of the minds of these companies, without a doubt, guys. And it's quite a scary thought, because motorcycles, well, this motorcycle in particular, I will be giving back. I don't own this bike. It's on PCP, so I'm probably going to end up giving it back at the end of the term. and that'll be it. I probably will never ever buy another ZH2 ever again, despite the fact that this is perhaps one of the best motorcycles I've ever ridden. I mean, of course there'll be a lot on the used market still and things like that. Probably well into the 2030s you'll see these on the used market. But yeah, they will start dwindling fairly quickly. Yeah, without a doubt. And I wonder when they're going to get the whole eco treatment, like almost every other motorcycle on the planet now, at least, well, yeah, pretty much on the planet, but in particular in Europe, with Euro 5 and Euro 6 and all the Euro bloody emission standards, whatever it is now. When is it going to start affecting these kinds of bikes? Because it will sooner rather than later. Yeah, it's crazy, because of course the Gixxer 1000 is gone in Europe. Can't buy it in Europe anymore. Gone. That's just the first of many, I suspect. Because you don't want to choke up these machines. Like, what's the point in making them if you have to choke them up in order for them to fit within emission standards? So it will almost be a pointless investment at that point. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments about all this, because I think that's a madness. When you got motorcycles like this that are absolutely just classic, and the prospect of them disappearing in the near future is coming thick and fast. We won't see another Hayabusa ever again. We probably won't even see a ZX-10R or an R1 in the near future. They'll probably be gone as well. So it's kind of leaving these manufacturers with nothing to sell. It's like, God's sake, man. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's so stupid. But I mean, I don't know, to some extent I agree with the transition. But because I'm excited, I look forward to seeing what these companies are able to engineer from a bad deck of cards, you know, or a bad set of cards. Because they will come up with something. They always do. They'll come up with something that is absolutely revolutionary, and everyone's going to want one. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think that's going to be an amazing time to be alive. But it is going to be very sad to see the passing of these motorcycles. I don't know, guys. I mean, maybe in future, in the next 10 years, something like that, maybe I will buy another ZH2 as a memento to this moment in time, when the ZH2 was still at its greatest. And look, I mean, I'm not going to fanny about, okay? This is more than likely the best naked you will ever buy. Yes, it's expensive. It is an expensive naked. It's £16,000 brand new, maybe closer to £17,000 on the road. But compared to its competition, compared to the Super Duke, compared to the MT-10, despite the fact that they are also amazing nakeds, honestly, they're seriously good nakeds. You can't go wrong with either of them. This is the best. This is the best of the best. When you compare them on specs, when you compare them on performance, when you compare them on comfort, when you compare them on rideability, yeah, definitely, this is up there. I mean, I suppose depending on your taste in motorcycle, then they'll probably swap around in the top three. But all three of those motorcycles are up there, and for me, this is the best. And at some point or other, I'm going to confirm that with an MT-10. I'll get an MT-10, don't you worry. I'm definitely going to get on a Super Duke, and we'll confirm it. But this is the best of the best. And when you see the best of the best dying, it's a sad day. A very, very sad day. And I don't see any way how they can keep this motorcycle around in a second generation. I don't see how, without nerfing it to shit. I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. But I mean, I suppose if they are somehow able to make a second generation ZH2, then some of the things that I would like to see. Well, this is hard because it's hard to predict the future, if you know what I mean. But oh, they got a woofie there as well. Funny. Yeah, it's hard to predict the future. But certain things that I would like to see is maybe the adjustable suspension as standard. That would have been a nice touch for me. I mean, the ZH2 SE has got the oh my god, what am I saying? The electrically adjustable suspension. It's got that. So I would like to see that. I would also like to see some kind of gyro thing involved. I have no doubt that in the near future, gyros are going to be part of motorcycle tech. I'm convinced of it. So having a gyro installed to help with cornering, to help with braking, I think would be a really, really cool thing to have. And it will make wheelies like easy, but you'll be able to control the wheelie, if you know what I mean, because the gyro will help you stand the bike up. So I mean, it probably won't happen, but you know what I mean, it'll be something really cool like that. In terms of performance, I mean, I don't think it would need to change in performance, really. Maybe a little bit more torque. Maybe if they can bump it up to 150 newton meters of torque, 200 horsepower and 150 newton meters of torque on this bad boy would just make it, oh wow, just even more mad than it is already. But I would buy something like that. If it had just an extra 20 newton meters of torque, I'd buy it. Definitely. Yeah. Things like the TFT dash, I don't think we need to change that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe having a hybrid electric ZH2. So it has a petrol engine or an ICE engine, but it also has electric motors. But what I'm saying here is that not for eco things, but actually for performance. Yeah, so that they can get you off the line like ridiculously quick. I think that would be amazing if it had just one electric motor on the back wheel or something like that. I think that might be a pretty sick little toy to play with as well when it comes to things like launch control and what have you. Oh, yeah, can you imagine? That'd be awesome. But anyway, guys and gals, I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you ever so much for watching, and definitely let me know your thoughts on how sad you're going to be when this generation of motorcycle that you are currently riding is probably going to be its last. And let me know what they can do to perhaps keep it around, whether or not you'd want to see it in an electric form or not. And yeah, just how rubbish it is, really, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, it is pretty rubbish. And that's what I'm saying. Us die-hard motorcyclists, we love these machines, we adore them, and we don't want to see them go. But unfortunately, it is inevitable. That seems to be where it's going now. But anyway, guys and gals, yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. Leave a like, hit subscribe. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys, because this is one of those things that I'm really curious to get all of your ideas and all of your opinions on, because this is a big topic now and it's coming to hit us thick and fast. But yeah, thanks again. We'll catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.